Hello. Welcome to Matters of DeCorum. I'm Scott Corum. This is what matters to me. I got asked a question on Facebook recently. One of those posted, answer this to take a survey or for someone's school project. How many cups of coffee do you drink in a month? My answer was 64, give or take 10. That might have been a little bit light. I drink a lot of coffee. I have an addictive personality. This is why Scott can't go to Vegas on his own. I become very addicted to gambling very quickly. I can't overindulge in alcohol. I had a hard time. Well, I got myself off of fentanyl after the cancer treatments because I realized I was enjoying it too much. I keep a couple of bottles of oxycodone around because that's the only thing that really kills pain that I get into severely these days. I can't go near it unless it's an absolute emergency because it becomes far too comfortable too quickly. I'm addicted to caffeine. I'm super addicted to caffeine. I go to my regular coffee place or an irregular coffee place. I go to all the coffee places. If there's a new coffee place, I go to a coffee place. And if the barista doesn't react with horror when I have ordered my drink, I've ordered it wrong. I went into a Pete's Coffee fairly recently, and my order was not, give me this thing on the menu. My order was, what can you give me that will hurt me? That's when I discovered that Pete's offers a cold brew concentrate that is really, really potent. I got the large. I got the large coconut tuxedo cold brew concentrate and was informed that I was a brave man for ordering it, much less drinking it. It worked well. I could see smells and hear colors. Thing of it is, let me back up a little bit. I heard this thing when we were dealing with my son's learning differences early on in his school career, when I was urged to let him be medicated for his attention deficit. I really resisted that. I was given medications very early in my life for attention deficit, and my grandparents insisted I be taken off of it because when I took it, I was not the child that I had been before. And I knew that these medications had a real chance of altering my son's personality. And I was convinced that he would not be able to sufficiently participate in classes if I didn't. I was also told something that children who need medications like this and do not receive them tend to self-medicate later in life. Now, while that's not a tried and true statement, it doesn't bear a lot of research. This is me self-medicating. My attention deficit hyperactivity disorder is monumental. It is worse after the cancer. The chemo brain has not helped it one tiny little bit. I need to bridge gaps between my inspiration and performance. I have this idea to do something and I develop an intention, but between intention and completion there is a chasm where motivation and mental endurance fails me. And this is the bridge. I'm addicted. But I'm addicted to something that permits me to function. And you build up a resistance to caffeine over time. You build up resistance to anything. I need to have caffeine to the level where, well, I say 64 cups of coffee in a month. That is predilected on the fact that most of the drinks I take are worth at least 2 cups of coffee, and that's incorrect. Most of the drinks I take are worth 8 cups of coffee. It is closer to 240 cups of coffee a month, give or take 30 or so. You look for studies on detrimental effects of caffeine, and there aren't a lot. Now, whether that's caffeine being genuinely healthy, or people just don't want to look too intently at that. You don't want the coffee lobby having to step up and suppress studies or something like that. You get a little paranoid. This is how my brain functions. Now, if I find something else that works better, with as few side effects, I'll think about it. I have considered trying to get a prescription for Ritalin, or Adderall, or, I hear cocaine can really boost your creativity. It can also leave you in your underwear at the end of Redondo Beach Pier at 3 o'clock in the morning thinking that you can fly. Which is a story in and of itself, but I don't think I'm ready to go there. I have an addictive personality. There are some boundaries I just know not to cross. I'm addicted to coffee. I said I'm addicted. I didn't say it's a problem. Of all the things to be addicted to, this is about the best self-medication that I can actually arrange. It is socially acceptable. Aside from, occasional flutters and palpitations, which I would probably have anyway, doesn't seem to be bothering me too much. My heart is fine. I have some problems with plaque buildup, but that's in my family history. And as long as I am relatively good about taking my regular medications and getting some exercise, I had a good walk this morning. As long as I hydrate, I'm fine. I talk about my caffeine usage online. There is concern from time to time. I actually do occasionally try to frighten baristas. I do get a regular string of, "Are you sure you want to do that? I don't know how you do that. I couldn't." And it's okay. A little bit of an ego boost, a little bit of a mark of pride that there's one thing I can indulge in to such an overblown proportion that it scares people a little bit. The alternative is not being able to do anything. I couldn't do this without this. I couldn't compose my thoughts or focus them to a point where I can present them. Not on screen, not writing it, not speaking it. Without caffeine, I could play half-assed Minecraft most of the day. Or sleep. It's a conundrum. At some point, I'm going to have to wean myself off this. Every so often, I do. Every so often, I take a little while to dry out. Those are terrible times. I become a terrible grumpy puss. And let my tolerances drop down a little bit so that it doesn't take as much. It's been a while since I've done that. I should probably do it fairly soon. After the H.P. Lovecraft Film Festival, I think. At the same time, I have things I want to write and art I want to create. I have ideas I want to bring to life. So many of them in my head. So much inspiration. The people in my life bring me so many ideas, and so many things grow here and start here that I need to water them a little bit, have something to plant them in, let them grow into fruition, and without this, that doesn't happen. I don't think my tombstone or memorial, since I'm not actually going to be buried anywhere, I don't think it's going to have anything about caffeine on it unless a bag of coffee grounds falls on me from a shipment and kills me that way. I don't think this is ultimately going to be too much to my detriment, because any medication that someone would try and give me for this would absolutely require me to take other medications to counter its side effects. And, nah. This is about the best form of self-medication I can come up with. This one had dark chocolate in it. So, caffeine is my demon. But it's my demon, and I'm owning it. And if you come across a particularly good source of caffeine, drop me a line. I'm interested. And I'm very fond of Death Wish coffee. Their Odin Force Valhalla Java is particularly wonderful. Trader Joe's Electric Buzz Keurig cups are a wonderful godsend. My family makes me a couple of pitchers of cold brew every other week or so. Okay, every week. I might go through a couple of pitchers in 4 days if I'm not careful. I'm going to try and stretch it out with the Electric Buzz and see what happens there. If you're going to have a demon, own it. Caffeine. It's my demon. Well, thank you for following me along on this particular rant over my addictions and their purposes. If you liked the video, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't like the video, give me a thumbs down. Feedback is feedback. If you have your own experiences with caffeine or suggestions about caffeine I might want to try, always interested in hearing that. Leave me a comment. You'll love leaving me a comment. I'll love getting them. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, why not? My channel is awesome. Feel free to hit the subscribe button. If you do, hit the little notification bell next to it so you get notified as soon as my videos become available. If you'd like to help the channel out in a more substantial way, I appreciate if you'd hit me up at www.patreon.com/ScottCorum. Consider donating. Every little bit helps and helps me to make better videos more often. In the meantime, thank you very much. I'm Scott Corum. This is what has mattered to me, and I will see you next time on the next Matters of Decorum.